friends, welcome to my show Let's Talk. I'm Vidya Raj Sharma, an actor, dancer, and a yoga enthusiast. More than that, your host here to make you meet interesting people and celebrities. If you have still not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell icon for further notifications. So let's talk. Theatre is the safest way of exposing a child to difficult emotions and helping them express it in their unique way. Today, my guest is Shaili Sathyu, who is going to talk about theatre for children. Shaili Sathyu is a playwright, a director, and the founder of Gillo Repertory Theatre. Her plays include Kyun Kyun Ladki, Mr. Gigi Boy and the Birds, She He She, and her latest play is Chidiya Ud, which is especially for toddlers. She is the recipient of Ustad Bismillah Khan Puraskar from Sangeet Natak Academy and the Young Turk of Theatre in Mumbai from Rage Productions. So let's talk to Shaili Sathyu and know the importance of theatre in a child's life. So let's talk. Hello Shaili, welcome to my show Let's Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Shaili, can you talk a little about Gillo Repertory and tell us a little more about it?
Sure. So my theatre group is called Gillo Repertory Theatre, and we are based in Bombay or Mumbai. We started our work in the year 2010, and our main work has been of creating performances, stage plays for children to come and watch. So one of the features is that all our performances include actors who are above 16. Okay. And in the last 10 years, we have produced over 20 productions and performed close to 600 shows across India and in different languages. We do theatre training for children and teachers, parents, as well as drama students. But the main part of our work is making plays that we take to schools, we take to public auditoriums, we take to different kinds of spaces and theatre festivals where the primary audience is children.
Okay. So, Shaili, can you tell us the effect of theatre on children? How does it help them grow and in their overall well-being?
So, I would rather not give you a theoretical answer of what people say theatre gives children, but in my experience of performing and meeting children, what I have seen with young people. Before I share those thoughts, I would also like to mention that the work that we present is age specific. One of the things is that any theatre engagement gives the child, it's like a window into the world, into a world that they have not yet experienced, or even into a world that they may have experienced, but then it's put in front of them it's framed in front of them in a certain manner. So the focus is on certain aspects, whether it's to do with, the emotional language or even relationships. So what I've seen is that the first thing is that children imitate what they see. Similar to how children imitate their parents or family members. In the same way, they imitate their teachers. And similarly, when they see a performance, whether it's in theatre or even something they watch in cartoons or on TV, they do imitate. The younger they are, the more imitation they do, because that is a way of learning. One of the things that we try and do in the characterization that we portray of the different characters in a story is we try to celebrate the sort of trait of curiosity. The characters should portray curiosity, empathy. It's not only about being good, but then if they've done something wrong, then they reflect and they understand their mistake, and then they try to see how do you then change your action from here. So I think that aspect of curiosity is extremely valuable. And we've seen how children ask questions after a show and they want to know why a character did what they did, or why didn't they do this, or why didn't they do that. And for us, that's very important, that we are not here to give them the answers to life through the plays. We're not here to teach them, but we're here to provoke children and parents and teachers to ask questions.
Correct.
to ask questions and to be on the journey of asking questions and finding their own answers. Because that is much more important than listening to somebody and then just following blindly.
Correct.
And children do ask a lot of questions after a show. You know, we had a play by a story by Mahashweta Devi, in which there's a girl who is an Adivasi girl, and she and her family, they hunt for snakes and they eat the snakes, and it's a accepted practice for them. And there is another lady who comes from the city, from Calcutta, and she this is in Jharkhand area. So she is horrified that this child is eating snakes, is trying to catch a snake. So she tries to stop her. And this is what we had shown in our play. So after many shows, children have asked, you know, that why is this girl catching snakes and why does she want to eat snakes? Because it's culturally something so different.
True.
But then when you show children who belong to such different backgrounds, you try and also share that not everybody is the same as you are. And there are different people from different backgrounds, different languages, and it's not about right or wrong, it's about different ways of life. And you accept them and they accept you, as long as you're not hurting each other. The whole aspect of curiosity, how children look at the world around them, the aspect of empathy, where they feel for other characters' pain. So when something like that happens around them, then they will also show the pain and maybe act in a manner which is responsible.
True.
Whether it's, you know, harming animals or other children, or, you know, playing pranks, and how that is harmful. So we've seen that this does make a direct impact on children. Sometimes it also happens that children watch a play and they ask sometimes tough questions which parents don't want to answer. So it's not only about asking questions which the adults in your life are comfortable to answer, but it's also about provoking some uncomfortable questions. So that's also important.
True. So basically, the questioning is the main important thing in the process of growing as a child. So that's
Yes.
very important to provoke that. True. So how do we exactly initiate parents to send their children to see theater? And how films, serials, or other visual stuff, they are very easily accessible now. But a parent needs to take that initiative to say that a child should see theater. So how do we do that? And what would you say for that?
So one of the things that I've realized is reaching parents directly is always very difficult, you know. But when we go to schools and the schools invite us to a performance, then we have so many children who get the opportunity to watch a play or even be part of a workshop. And it may be that a lot of children, and we in our sort of work that we've done, we've realized that 60 to 70% children who watch a play are watching it for the first time in their life. And probably even 70 or 80% of them are never going to watch another play ever. You know, so that's the kind of numbers that we're facing in the children's theater space, because theater going is not a common habit in all parts of India. In some states it's more, in some states it's less. In some communities or some certain class of people who have access, it's different. So reaching to the schools, what we try and do is we do tell the schools that encourage the parents of the children to also come and watch. But not all schools are so open to inviting parents. So they do sometimes invite a PTA member or something like that, where we can encourage the parents to become aware that something like this also exists and it has value. What I would say to parents is, instead of thinking of wanting to send your child to watch a play, think about it as going with your child to share an experience together, to make it a shared experience, because the whole act of theater is a social experience for the performers also and for the audience as well. So it's a social gathering, and it's more valuable if the parent is there with the child, partaking of that experience, sharing the experience, and then going back home and talking about it, discussing, understanding different points of view. Not about sitting in the auditorium and explaining to the child what is going on stage, because most of the plays are made as per the child's age. At least the plays that I work on. Be there and enjoy something together with your child. Uh, it's very satisfying for a lot of parents to even watch their child watching, because they see the child partaking of this experience and the responses the child is giving, and the way they smile or laugh, or even, the gleam in their eyes, or they lean forward like this when something happens, what excites them. And you see a different side of your child, and you share the joy that that child is receiving from the energy that they're getting from the stage, the sounds that they're hearing, what they see visuals on the stage, or what the person is speaking. And it's like you become an equal with your child when you're watching a performance, whether it's a music performance, a dance performance, a theater performance. And then when you go back, you have a shared experience to talk about. It's not only what did you see, did you like it? It's not only a top down thing where the child is only reporting to the parent.
What do you think about making theater an academically included part in schools?
I think it is very much the need of the hour. Also, because now there's so much talk about, we're already 20 years into the 21st century, but since 2 decades, people are going on talking about 21st century skills and all the soft skills that you need in the professional world. And so many companies are now teaching soft skills to people who are in their 20s and 30s, things which you should have learned in school, or things you should have been sensitized about in your childhood or in your youth. But the education structure and the social structure that we have is not necessarily giving those skills to all the children who need them.
True.
So I think, yes, not only theater, but the arts in general need to be given much more space. Over the years, many schools have dropped music and dance from their curriculum. Only like art, as in painting and craft, is still there in most schools. But I know when, about 30-40 years ago, music was a big thing in all schools, but now it's becoming much less.
True.
So I think instead of reducing the arts, it's a time to increase the arts in the curriculum.
Okay.
And many schools now do have regular theater teachers. It's much more than, say, 10 years ago. So it is changing, but if parents demand from the school management, then this process will become faster.
Correct. As a child needs to experience theater, I think it is very much a need of the hour for parents to realize the importance of theater and experiencing theater.
Yes, so actually one of the things which I have seen as a problem is that teachers and parents themselves don't have the exposure to the performing arts.
Correct.
So for them to understand, looking at a brochure or a website, that this is important doesn't cut the deal. So usually when I do workshops, even if it's a small workshop for, say, 15 children or 25 children anywhere in India, I do try and have one session which is a joint parent-child session, so that the parents can have an experiential knowledge of what we're trying to say. And it's not just a paragraph in a brochure that you give them, or a smartly worded publicity thing, but they actually participate and share the energy that we are talking about. Once that, like we say, the penny drops, once they have the taste of it, then we don't have to sit and try and convince the parents.
Yes.
Then they know.
Yes.
So I think many more opportunities for parents also are required.
True. Once you have a taste of the theater, I think mostly it is self-attracting.
Yes, yes.
Can you share some experiences of these children, how they have reacted to your plays when you're performing, their sudden reactions, and any such interesting moments which have happened?
A lot of interesting moments. We had one play which is based on a story by Rabindranath Tagore, and in that there is an imaginary horse that is part of the story. And there's a little boy who's talking to the character of Rabindranath Tagore, and he says that, my horse, he's named his horse Chhatrapati, and he says, my horse is going to come, and I'm going to ride the horse and fly into the sky. and he uses a old broken umbrella, the long black umbrella, and he's trying to ride it like how children play. And all this is there. And there was an 8-year-old boy who saw this play when we had performed in Calcutta. And after the show, it was the first time he was watching a play. And his father is a documentary filmmaker. And after the show, he came to meet us with his son, and he said, "This was my son's first theater experience, and thank you so much." And he really enjoyed. So then he asked his son in front of me that which part of the play did you like the most? So he said, "I really liked the horse." So the father said, "Which horse?" There was no horse in the play, because
Right.
it was a very small sequence in the whole 1 hour 20-minute play. It must have been about 2 minutes, and the horse was only mentioned several times. And but it was a magical horse, and it kept recurring as a metaphor in the whole play. And the child said that, "No, I saw the horse. The horse was there on stage."
Oh,
And I was also a little surprised. And then the child said, "But I could see the horse, because that boy in the play could see the horse, so I could see the horse."
oh, very
You
nice.
know, it was just
Yes.
even thinking
Innocence,
about it just gives me goosebumps, because the child really got the
their
and
innocence is what is everything. It's priceless, and
yes, yes,
that innocence should be formed and given a right path. Exposing to theater would give it a wonderful way ahead.
yes, yes.
Yes. And what are your new initiatives in Gillo?
Well, right now we have been hit quite badly with the lockdown,
Yes.
so we're trying to see how we can go ahead. But one of the things that we've been doing since the last 3 years is uh, going on a bus. We hire a private bus, and we do touring theatre. We take the bus through certain districts in Maharashtra and Karnataka. So taking theatre outside of the metro cities and reaching a new audience, new for us audience, has been one of our flagship projects.
Okay.
So we are hoping to every 3 years expand our project to a different state of India, work with local artists who are there and who can be part of the project. Basically the mission is that as many children as possible should have the performing arts as a part of their life, to get that joy, to have that experience uh, uh, as part of their growing up years. That's our mission, and we're trying to widen the scope of our work.
Wonderful, wonderful, Shaili. Actually, it was great listening to you talk about theater and children theater. What would you want to tell all these viewers?
I think as parents know better than anybody else that children learn from example. So you set the example, but it's not only about doing something to show your child, but it's also something that you will enjoy yourself. So and there are beautiful books available for children today, even Indian books in different languages. I would say that parents should read with their children, read to their children, read for themselves, watch plays, listen to different types of music, expose your children to different types of music. Even if you don't understand it or you don't like it, let them have a taste. Let them decide then what they want to be their choice or their preference. Because unless we give them new experiences, children are not going to learn. Then we're just repeating what they already know. So take the risk of sharing something new. And remember, not giving your child the experience, but sharing the experience with your child. So that's what I would say to all parents and adults.
Yes, that's very important. Sharing the experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish that this lockdown thing is all over and your mission is back on track and you reach to more kids around the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So friends, I hope this discussion encouraged you to take your children to theatre and give them a wonderful experience. If you have any queries, please put it on the comment box. I'll get back to you. Please do subscribe to meet more interesting people and celebrities. Please do like and share my videos. Let's talk again soon.